this one right here, we got N01. You got the N01, and you got the whole thing, you know, with the official music video. But you got what N, and just with his 01, thing, you know, just the whole thing coming into, you know, the scholarly. But you got with N and then 01, and then you got that whole just elaborism, like you got the elaborism just with the 01, you know, something discrimination, like with the 01 and the whole other scholasticism and this whole thing. But you got the main one just coming into the whole slosher quiz.
Cal made it special.
Free Big L, free X-Sun.
Shout my booty to him.
Free Tarzan, free the gang, 100 fucking times.
I want you to get this fuck where he breathes. I want you to find this Nancy boy Elliot Ness. I want him dead. I want his family dead. I want his house burnt to the ground. I want to go to the middle of the night. I want to piss on his ass. Piss on his ass. Piss on his ass.
Ledet foilen se kandidater thoi një gang po kujt I plasi ku I kam kejt Prishtina lidh midis Kosove me kalla Shqipnis bish o bish mas kom fes të leviz qa folem na kejt e bojna Eastside bojna glujna na lojna lean that mash at the window grip that ying that young G mind for the kickback cook back me and my G did that welcome to Prishtina lidh midis Kosove me kalla Shqipnis bish o bish mas kom fes të leviz qa folem na kejt e bojna Eastside bojna.
Ooh, he said mask on skis, you know, and then he said with the lean, and he said mask on like he was like on some flea, like they say, you know, before anything happens, you know, you gotta, before you even put out those shooters, like those scooters, like they say, you know, mask on fleas, like they got the mask on fleas, the mask on screes, like you got that whole thing, and then it's the whole thing, like it just comes with another side of a storage, like the whole thing, how it just said, you know, putting the whole thing on in the main script, Calyx and all these other, you know, start Cargix.
Lean that mash at the window grip that ying that young G mind for the kickback cook back me and my G did that welcome to Albania they treat criminals better than presidents my girl too elegant smoking top shelf medicine sorry baby I don't do lovey-dovey I get round there with a brocky mash work till my crepes get muddy lovely anywhere I touch I'm comfy Pristine 01 get bun Pristine I get round there with a brocky mash work till my crepes get muddy lovely anywhere I touch I'm comfy Pristine 0.
Ooh, he said it, and you know, even when he steps, you know, it gets a little muddy. It gets a little muddy where he's at. And then he said, you know, everywhere he steps, you know, he's already feeling comfy. Like you got that comfy area. It's something where it's just something, you know, you just was around. It's like, you know, you somewhere, you know, you just anywhere you go, you know, you just feel comfy. You got that. You feel like you in that zone where it's like, you know, anywhere you step, you know, you feel that you in that comfy zone. Like, you just feel like, you know, you just in a good zone, in a good, you know, spot. But he said, you know, with the muddy and the other thing, and then he said, like, with the lean, and then he said, like, the muscazid and the selsies and the mudsies.
One, get bun, Pristine 01. Get bun. Sorry baby, I don't do lovey-dovey. I get round there with a brocky. Mash work till my crepes get muddy, lovely. Anywhere I touch, I'm comfy. Pristine 01. Get bun, Pristine 01. Get bun. I put 10 bullets in that mash, then I say Bismillah. Falling rook på nok kërka, nihen krisma. I'm an East boy like Ronnie and Reggie. 5 man in a ding dong too deadly. Don't slip round here, it's techie. Brother, please don't tempt me. I'm from a place where you can get murdered and they wouldn't give 2 fucks. I don't care what your brethren's on. 2 can die for the price of 1. Long hair just to match my way. This gun real life, no it ain't no toy. 2 man in a ding dong swerving, done it before, no way man's nervous.
Ooh, two mans on a wave and swerving, you know. 2 man and then he said the nervous and a whole other thing, like he said, you know, 2 mans on a wave, you know, had a had a little bit of nervous and stuff like that. Like they say, you know, two mans on a swerve, you know, two mans on the whole benefits and the whole thing. And he said, you know, had a little bit of nerves and like your nerve system is going and everything else, and just that whole just anarchic.
Sorry baby, I don't do lovey-dovey. I get round there with a rocky. Mash work till my crepes get muddy. Lovely, anywhere I touch I'm comfy. Pristine 01. Get bun, pristine 01. Get bun. Sorry baby, I don't do lovey-dovey. I get round there with a rocky. Mash work till my crepes get muddy. Lovely, anywhere I touch I'm comfy. Pristine 01. Get bun, pristine 01. Get bun.
Kyle made it special.
Shout my booty to him.
Oh, and then everything else, like it's just something scannaples, you know, Christian Leor and everything else. But you got what Ian and just the 01, like, you know, like he said, you know, everywhere it's just a muddy like that part right there that really got to me, because like, you know, it's like anywhere you step, you know, it's just a muddy scene. So I'm getting something else, you know, towards it, where he said the muddy scene and the whole thing, like he said, you know, and then he said like the other part, you know, a 2-man step and the whole Christian like Fleur, but everything else. But you got with this one right here, you know, and I like this one too because it was a mixture. Like you can hear like the other extensions, and then you can hear the other like expressions coming in. So it was all kinds of sterlings around it and everything else. But make sure to go check this one out. Everything else, like, comment, and with just this dark sterling